Okay, so we're going to start now. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, beautiful souls, and welcome back to another episode of Pleasure Principles. I'm your host, Avik, and today we are diving into a topic that transcends time, age, and even trauma, and how every single one of us, no matter where we are in life, can embrace the pleasure and truly enjoy being alive. Yes. Our guest today is a true marvel. Imagine, yeah, exactly. So, uh, imagine being in your eighth decade of life and
Yeah.
still thriving, inspiring, and creating magic. Yes, I'm talking about Audrey. Audrey is Arbe. So, welcome to the
Yes.
show,
Thank
Audrey.
you. Thank you. Yes, creating mass. Yes, I guess it's now known that I'm in my eighth decade, but I am.
Yeah.
And there's no reason for anyone to decide they shouldn't have pleasure. And what you were saying in various areas,
Hmm.
I know people that are healing issues from their past, which we
Hmm.
all have to do, by the way, and that's enhancing their ability to be fully alive in the present, here and now. And that includes pleasure, because if somebody has had various kinds of trauma that they may even have blocked from
Hmm.
their consciousness, it's going to blunt whatever kind of pleasure one could have, which would include sexual, food. I'm an artist, so one of the things I do these days is paint rocks. I love painting these things,
Yeah.
and they up level people's energy, including my own. So
Hmm.
no, and in this day and age, with stuff that's going on the earth right now, it is truly important to be able to appreciate the
Yeah.
beauties.
Exactly, exactly. Very true. And I mean, I so today, like as you correctly mentioned, like ever evolving being in your eighth decade of life, that's really incredible. And on this, how do you view pleasure as a part of your journey, not just as a concept, but as a living, as a breathing experience?
Okay. When I'm really on my practice, I jump up and down on my rebounder. I love doing it.
Hmm.
I didn't do it early this morning. It's a better idea for me to do it earlier rather than later if it's too late. Like right now, it's 80 degrees, feels like 86. That's not when I want to do that. I want to do it when it's a little cooler. And then one feels alive in one's body. And for anyone who thinks that feeling alive in one's body is only for certain age cohorts, if that's the correct language, age groups. No, it's all the time. Babies get pleasure in their bodies. They're giggling and laughing a lot of the time. This is not only for any particular age. I'm someone who likes food. I am mostly raw vegan, and I make stuff. I make things, you might understand this because you're from India and you're in India, but we have cacao trees here and we have the pods. Okay. And I make stuff with that that is absolutely yummy and delicious. And for the most part, healthful, good for us, because I use for sweetening agent, I use dates. If and when I run out of dates, then I use plantains, the ripe ones, not the green ones, the platanos, and it's got other holistic ingredients in it. Nuts. If you're allergic to nuts, don't make this, or make it with coconut pulp. And my favorite nut is that sounds funny. My favorite nut is cashew. And the best way to use the nuts are raw, organic. And yes, I know they're more money. I am aware of this, but you use what you can. And raw, the reason raw is because the enzymes in the food are still alive. And that is where we get our nutrition, from the enzymes. And is this stuff good? Oh my gosh, yes, very much so. So there's many ways that one can get walking, breathing, sexuality, that's also orgasms. Do I need to go into how pleasurable that can be? And unless somebody might have something physically that would in any way deter that, which I'd have to think what that might be, there's no reason not to be able to have that with small or large frequency. It's up to the person. The desire for pleasure, whether it's that or whether it's good food, or I'm an artist. I'm also an author. I like to write. Right now I'm painting again. I get a lot of pleasure out of that. I love doing it. And I put the love into the rocks. They're called, here's a little one. They're called frequency stones, or in Spanish, piedras preciosas. Here's a little one. And they literally will help shift your own energy. How could I not get pleasure in that? And look at how cute they are. Oh my God. I love these things.
Exactly.
I mean, they're adorable.
Very
So
true.
there's no
Yeah.
reason not to have it. And if we don't release and process our upset, our anger, our fear, our resentment, whether it's in personal relationships or anything happening on the planet. So I'm not saying ignore stuff. I'm saying process it out and focus on what you need and require to have a life that you love having.
Exactly. Exactly. So, like you mentioned about the frequency stones, it really sounds fascinating. And you have mentioned that they help people ground themselves while also up leveling their vibration. So,
Yes.
how does this connect to giving oneself permission to enjoy the life fully, like emotionally, spiritually, sensually? What to say?
Okay, well, I actually have looked around a little bit since I've been on this planet. And as you said, I am in my eighth decade. I'll state it straight up. I am at this moment 82 and a half. My half birthday was January 17th. Okay, I'm a July baby.
Mm,
And a lot of people put, and I had been this, I had done this, the seriousness of things on the planet, and I can be an extremely serious woman.
mm,
At one point was so heavy when I was younger, I didn't see how people could laugh. And then I actually learned, it was a learning experience, that without laughter, without love, without appreciation, life gets extremely heavy. Plus which, one, I'm a healer. I'm an energy healer. I'm Reiki master. I'm that stuff. I'm a shamanic healer. I'm a clairvoyant. I do this work. And if somebody only is like, then there's no life and light inside. And then
mm,
one's life can feel really heavy. That is not pleasurable. And I know I've lived it. It is definitely not pleasurable. So I'm not saying ignore stuff. I wouldn't know how to just ignore stuff. So
mm,
one processes what one can. One sends out, I do this daily, the energy of healing and light. I can teach how to do some of that and
mm,
sends it to oneself. We are, as a species, made of light. I feel everything is made of light. Whatever anyone's concept of reality is, we may not all be able to see it on the third dimension. I'm going to grant you that. And there are people who are not necessarily living it per se, because we're not forced to. Nobody makes you. This is all a free choice, literally. And I long ago, quite some while ago, decided that I wanted to love my life. And when there was no one in my life that I was in love with or loving, I mean, I have friends I love. I don't mean that, or family. I meant a life partner or even a partner for here and now. I decided that I love the feeling of being in love. So I chose, this is a choice, and you could make this also, to be in love with life. And when I made that choice and realized I
Yeah.
am in love with life. And I have lived in New York City. I've lived in various places. I've been in Europe. I've been in Africa. I've not yet been in India, although I would like to. I'm
Yeah.
now in Costa Rica.
Hmm.
Not everything is stunningly gorgeous. So Costa Rica is a really pretty country. And I would like everyone to treat it. So that's a whole other conversation. But when we really start loving the fact, the reality of being alive, we change our energy.
Yeah.
We bring the light that we're made of to bear and
Mm.
allow it. I send light to myself. The guides told me a while ago, quite a while ago,
Yeah.
to send white light to the linings of all my cells. So I
Mm.
do. And you don't have to know where they all are. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a medical doctor. I don't know, but I have intention, and that's what's required. You send it, you open to it, and then
Mm.
golden light to the nucleus of all the cells, and then sit in it. And because I play around a little in the quantum realm, and if you haven't been, that is the name of the game right now. Okay, because we are quantum. And then I have the energy move and all. Oh, it's magical. And then I paint these gorgeous things. The reason they help ground anyone is they are rocks. What the indigenous people of the United States would call the old people. And I'm an artist, and so I like color.
Yeah.
And I paint them and I bless them and I thank them. And I put crystals on them. See, crystals.
Hmm.
And you can program the crystals yourself. I program them all. I program them all for healing, for light, for blessings, for things of that nature. I mean, they live in my home. They're in the gallery, okay? I
Yeah.
don't, well, I mean, I'm in the gallery a lot, but it's not where I sleep.
Hmm.
And so this energy is imbued in them. So if somebody has them, they get that energy also, because the energy doesn't leave. And people can program the crystals themselves. In fact, one easy way to program crystals is first literally wash it in water.
Hmm.
Okay, so it's physically clean. I'm not going to say use all kinds of soap. I would not. I don't know what you've got at home. I
Hmm.
have a pretty much organic kind of lifestyle, so like that. But wash it. Pardon me. Wash it in water. Let it sit where it can get sunshine or moonlight. And
Yeah.
whatever you might like the crystal to carry as its energy, imbue that into it, send it into it, send love, for sure, love. Oh, for sure. And you can send prosperity, blessings. And when you're sending something, you have to feel it. These are not just words. If someone just uses words, very nice, but that's not the deal. You have to really feel it inside and throughout your being. That is part of how you do it. And then there are more complicated methods, but this is something anybody can do.
Mm.
And then
Perfect.
you get more beautiful, whoever
Yeah.
they are. You do, because that energy is all in you and around, and that beautifies.
Very true. Very, very true, I'd say. And um, also, like, mm, society often places so many restrictions on how people, especially as they age, are supposed to experience sensuality. What's your take on breaking free from these limiting narratives?
When I walk, okay, so I'm in Costa Rica. I walk a lot. I don't
Yeah.
have a car or a tuk-tuk or a motorcycle or a bike. So I walk around town a lot. And I'm from New York City, Manhattan. So I'm used to walking. Okay. Walking for me is normal. And I'm lucky. I am blessed. I can walk. And I
Mm.
move when I have the space like a Manhattanite. And if you've ever been in the city, we move. Okay. I know how to walk slow. I know how to do the sexy thing. I know how to do all that. Okay.
Mm.
But when someone, and so people hear some and anywhere will go, hey, mama,
Mm.
because I'm clearly not 24 anymore.
Yeah.
And
Uh,
so that will be, and as long as it's respectful, because there's a difference between a respectful acknowledgement of somebody's
mm,
energy and a not so respectful. Not so respectful, frankly, I don't allow. That
mm,
nobody's allowed to speak with me that way or make noises. But
yeah.
respectful, it's just shining and acknowledging we're alive. So if someone says, hey, hi, I go hi back. That
Mm,
doesn't mean I want to run off with them, although
mhm,
it's an opening to possibly a further conversation, because one doesn't know who one's going to meet. It doesn't mean they're going to get invited to my home. I don't know you yet at all. I have to get to know someone. So, especially as a woman, and I am, according to most of the world, a petite woman. I am 4'10", and a smidge, so it's not so tall. And it's important to be wise with what one is doing, but that doesn't mean all closed off and like this, because then you don't get to experience life. And I feel part of what happens with people as they go through the years, if people don't process their sadness, their
mhm,
rejection, their disappointment, their rage, their anger, their resentment. I could name more. Okay, any of this stuff. And it takes something. I mean, I'm a healer, I help people with that.
mm,
I also do it for myself, and I have other friends who are healers. So we do exchanges. It's not like I go through something. I'm going to laugh at this because it's hysterical to me. It's not that I think, oh no, everything is all
mm,
processed. I'm just part. No, no. That's actually funny. It's an ongoing living experience of light. And
mm,
with all the stuff going on now,
mm,
and I'm going to stay away from politics because let's
yeah.
just say politically, where I'm at is I'm into those people who choose to make the planet better, who
Mhm,
choose to help people, who choose to live cleanly and not pollute. That will give you a clue about who I would support and who I would refrain from. Okay. But if
yeah.
someone sends out a lot of anger, a lot of rage, and I've been in demonstrations for years on and off, again, I've been around for a moment or two, and
Mm,
I can be all emotional and gung ho and all that. That's natural for me. But I've learned, especially now, that I don't want to put out the rage and the anger. I will process that. I won't hold it. That's a no. There are ways to process it. I have a process I teach people: 1, 2, 3, roar. It's fun. Um, and you could even go to the wall if nobody's around and do the protective prayer. You could see a copy of the protective prayer on my website, Audrey Now, AudryeNow.com. And that protects you and anyone you may mention by your word and connection to the divine. And we are all connected to the divine, each
mm,
and every single one of us. No one is more connected than anyone else. We're made of this stuff. Okay. It's what we are. And do I feel it every second? No, I didn't like the result of the United States election. That's all I'll say on that. And I mean, there's so much more I can say. I have a podcast now. So I'm saying it
yeah.
on that. My own podcast is called Moving Forward with Audrey Now. At the moment,
Mm,
and you'll soon see it on YouTube. Right now, it's on, what am I on? I'm on Facebook Live. But that's it. So what do I think about people either wanting to so-called dumb down any level of pleasure in, quote, older people? It's a mistake. It's a
mm,
mistake. Depending on who the person is, there's a huge amount of wisdom in
mm,
people who have been around, and especially if they've been paying any attention, even if they haven't been. I mean, you can't be on this earth for 82 years, say, for example, and not know something. You might know what not to do. That's important. It's
mm,
I've done a bunch of what not to do. You learn, don't do that. Do it this way, because this and the other is going to get a result you may not like. That's important wisdom. if people, okay, so I'm from the United States, now staying in Costa Rica.
Yeah.
Um, I have not read the latest stats, so I don't know what they are. But I know some little while ago there were I will say, upsetting stats about the level of health in the United States, which has like pots of money and spends pots of money on so-called health, but it isn't preventative necessarily. It's not really teaching people necessarily how to eat. Take a pill, do that, take a pill, take a pill, take a pill. Don't take a pill. Do what you need to do to heal whatever it is. And this whole thing with quote unquote over processed food, most of which I'm not very courteous with this next word I'm going to say, so I'll apologize in advance. Not all, but most of which, quite frankly, in my opinion, is junk. Don't eat that. If something is processed somewhat, that's almost normal now. Most of us aren't going to grow something from a seed and then that's just not in this day and age. But if something has been had all the nutrition pulled out of it and chemicals and who the heck knows what thrown in, and especially by people who don't care and all they want is to take your money and mess up your health, you don't want to eat that. Because when you eat something, you're also taking on the vibration of however it was made and prepared and grown. And if you don't think that makes a difference, let me suggest with a lot of love that you enhance your sensitivity because all of that has an effect on you, on me, on Avik, on our life, on the planet. Send love to the planet. Oh my God, walk barefoot. Okay, not where it's freezing cold. Okay. A friend told me where she is in Florida, it was 50 degrees. I don't know what it is in New York right now. So don't go barefoot in that. But when you can put your foot on earth, when you can put your foot in the beach, when you can put you even get a little thing of sod that has grass that you keep growing, put it in your house or wherever you need to put it and stand on that. So you're getting the living earth in some form on your body. And if it's real sod, it's growing. Okay. So it's alive. We need that energy and thank it. Thank it. Everything has consciousness. Yes, I actually said that. Everything has consciousness. This means my beautiful little stones. And am I saying they're beautiful? Yeah, look at them. This is a little one. It's so cute. Okay. And when you send love, you get love. Don't send it to get it. That's not send it because you want to send it, but it's a reciprocal thing. It's a reciprocal thing. And when
Exactly.
people get old, yeah, I'm older now compared to some. I'm younger compared to others. Okay. If they
Hmm.
haven't processed themselves, they are carrying all the, let me get a nice word and not the one that was about to come out of my mouth. They're carrying all the yuck that they've been carrying. And I discussed genetic karmic patterning. If they haven't worked on releasing and transforming the negative patterns from their family or however they've been connected, genetically or in any other way, they're carrying that. That's okay. We have to process that. Can I help with that? Yeah, that's part of the work that I do. If somebody doesn't want to, I've
Hmm.
had people tell me, I don't want to do the work. All right, I'm not here to force you. Don't do it. Okay, you don't want to, don't. But then if you're not feeling well,
Exactly.
look in the mirror.
Yeah. Understood. That's really, really great. And it's always nice connecting with you, Audrey. And
Thank you.
because I know it's time is constrained. I really love to continue more, uh but thank you so much for sharing your wisdom, your story, and your energy with us today.
Thank you, Avik.
I have to say 10 stars. I mean 10 out of 10 stars to your energy.
Oh,
This
thank you.
this day. Yeah. You have given us so much to think about when it comes to pleasure, healing, and unapologetically living our fullest lives. So,
Yeah,
to everyone who is listening, I hope that this conversation inspires all of you to give yourself permission to feel, to heal, and to thrive. And also remember that pleasure isn't luxury, it's a birthright. So if you love this episode, don't forget to subscribe, share it with someone who needs a little extra joy in their life, and leave us
Yeah.
a review as well. So until next time, this is your host Avik reminding you to live boldly, love deeply, and lean to pleasure. So take care and we'll see you soon. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you. Bye.